All right. Good morning to everybody. Good to see everybody there. And just got back in this morning after our plane flight back here to House Hall. So good to be back in Chicago. Again, like I said yesterday, really was a good trip for us in terms of logistics and everybody involved. I thought the players did a really good job of being prepared with the coaches, and trusting those guys. I really trust the leadership of this football team. And they proved that to be true in terms of the preparation and the execution that they provided on the Sunday game. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Mark Grody.
Hey Matt, welcome back. I'm curious. I know you touched on it a little bit this morning in regards to the you guys not scripting plays early on in the season, and then Mercedes Lewis kind of suggesting that you guys do. Just from a philosophical standpoint, what went into to not scripting the plays early on, if that is completely accurate and that is the story?
Yeah, I don't know if that's completely all the way accurate. I mean, we always have openers that we practice, and that's a big part of it. And so we have several plays listed as openers. So openers are plays that you're going to use on first and second down, and then obviously you go to your third down script based on the distances, and that's what pretty much everybody does. That was just more of communicating with the leadership of the offense, with Shane and myself to be able to, put those in order. So we put those in order so the guys knew exactly what play one was, play two, so forth, and what the first third down plays were, and kind of working that way. So, that's an important part of it. Guys can practice that. They can rehearse it mentally, in their minds. They can rehearse it, obviously in the walkthroughs that they did prior to the game, and just basically putting those in order. So that's really all it was. But again, it's just about good communication. Guys working together to get to the right answer, not necessarily your answer, but it's always going to be the right answer for the group.
Jason Leisure.
Matt, when you guys come back from the bye week, uh, you have the Washington game. Ryan talked last week about Caleb running his own race was the phrase he used in terms of his focus on his own situation and not getting caught up in other things. There's a lot of drama in the Washington game with it being back in his hometown. Jaden Daniels on the other team, one of the top rookies he's competing with this year. What have you seen from Caleb that tells you he is going to be able to filter all of that out and have the right mindset that you want him to have going into that game?
Yeah, that's been our mantra since the springtime, run our race. And that's important that it's always about us. It's always going to be about us. And we're focused on our preparation and our improvement and our growth during the course of this season. And I think that's really what Ryan's referring to. And we're all in that mindset, growing one week at a time, and getting better. And, Caleb has things he has to work on with the offense, with the offensive staff, and getting better individually, but also collectively as a group. And that's no different with the offense or defense or special teams. So I know that there'll be a lot of outside noise in terms of going home, back to his area. But again, that's we're playing the Washington Commanders, and that's what it's going to be all about. And really, it's about our preparation and our focus.
Matt, what about Caleb specifically, though? I know you're saying that that is the mindset of the whole team, and I understand that. But Caleb is in a unique situation with his draft status, with being very, very well known before he ever got to the NFL. What kind of things have you seen from him that show you that he doesn't get caught up in anything other than just the week?
Yeah, I think the way he's prepared, the last, going into it from week one all the way through week six, he's proven that he's gotten better every single week. And we've gotten better as a football team. So I just think that we're just trying to keep doing that. We know that, in order to be good in this league, you got to be, getting better every single week. And we have to do that this week too.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, I have a general question and then a follow-up that's a little more specific. But in general, what did you like about Shane's or play calling yesterday?
Well, I like the fact that we got some explosives in there. We stayed committed to the run game, so we stayed committed that way. That's an important thing to have balance, in this league, because you can't become one dimensional one way or the other. And I also think that the explosive plays and some creativity, the creative play to Cole up the middle, I think that was really, really creative. I do like the way they responded to adversity when we got the penalty for two guys moving 3rd and 5, goes to I think it was 3rd and 9, I believe, at the time. And then the play call there was really good relative to where we were on the field. So a lot of good things going there. He's got a good flow going. The offensive staff is really doing a good job of helping provide a lot of those ideas in the execution piece with their positions. And but yeah, I thought he called a really good game yesterday.
I realized that a couple of Caleb's runs were read option plays, but in general, he was more involved in the run game than he's ever been. Was that part of the plan, and why was it that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was one or two of those. I think the right before the half, he had a 23-yarder and a 19-yarder, I believe, where we called timeouts, or certainly on one of those. But that's always an important piece. You see different quarterbacks in the league that can use their feet, at a high level, but also are very accurate passers. And I think that's a 1-2 punch that you provide when you have an athletic quarterback.
Adam Johns.
Hey, Matt, two questions. I got a follow up to Pat's question there. Like, from your defensive coordinator position, like, how would you describe Caleb's running style? One, his ability to escape the pressure, and then when he gets to the open field, I guess, how would you describe that from your DC perspective?
Yeah, well, I know him a little bit more than most, so I'm not going to give you all the details, but I do think that he, obviously played running back, and linebacker. He says linebacker, but I don't know about that. I got to check the details on that. But running back for sure. But he's strong. He's a strong player in the pocket, and he's strong, in the open field. And so he's got ability to, square you up, okay, and then be able to capture edges and also be able to escape and be strong enough to be able to escape when people do have him in the grasp. So he's a hard get, and he's done a good job of that so far.
And then my other question is, in training camp, he said that one of the toughest things for him was IDing the blitzes that your defense was sending to him throughout training camp. So I guess 6 weeks into this and seeing a lot of blitzes, how far has he come with that? Like, how much has he improved in terms of IDing the blitzes pre-snap and then finding the answers to it in the play?
Yeah, he's done a really good job with that. Every defense provides different things, and there's going to be unscouted looks every single week. So what you see on tape is not necessarily what you're going to see in the game, and that's part of being in the NFL and part of game planning and be able to tactically adjust offensively and as a quarterback in game. So it's important that we continue to do that, recognize what's going on in front of us, and have the plans to be able to succeed going forward.
Courtney Cronin.
Hey, Matt, the first touchdown to Keenan, the one that Caleb put on the back shoulder. I know that Keenan talked about it's a play that you guys have been repping since OTAs, but I guess maybe if it was somebody not as experienced and having worked with so many different quarterbacks, can you speak to like the level of difficulty between those two and the connection there and just how Keenan, being as experienced as he was, despite missing some time, those two being on the same page, making it look as seamless as it did?
Yeah, it was a really good play by both players. Obviously, the protection was firm enough to be able to get the play where it needed to be because, if you don't have that, you don't have that play. But it's really about the rhythm and timing of that and those guys working on that particular route. And they've done a good job with that, during practice. And obviously where it was thrown and the amazing catch that Keenan had on that particular play was really good. And I'm not sure a bunch of guys could make that play other than Keenan, but it was a really good throw and catch by those guys. And the details were definitely there.
How has he been? I mean, I know he missed 2 games, but it doesn't seem like he's missed a beat in terms of the symmetry that he has out there with Caleb. What do you think makes that so effortless for him?
Yeah, I just think the experience piece, he's been with a lot of different quarterbacks over the years, and he's done a really good job of, adjusting to those guys. He has a lot of different ways that he runs different routes, and I think that you have to learn that. That's what makes him a hard cover because he'll run one route three different ways, and so you got to really understand what he's doing there, and the communication has to be there between quarterback and him. And I think the guys have done a really good job of that, learning each other and learning how to do things differently based on coverage and also based on just change in variance.
Back to Mark.
Matt, have you been encouraged enough with what you have seen from the offensive line in the last couple of weeks? Or when Ryan Bates does return, does he go right back in?
No, I've been encouraged with the guys that have been in there. And again, it's always going to be, it's a long season. It's always going to be, hey, we're going to have to slide some different guys in there during the course, of this season. And but I do like where it's been the last few weeks. It's been firm. It's been good, and the protection's been nice. In terms of that. The continuity's been good too. So we'll see where it is when guys come back, and where guys are going forward. We'll always put the best five we have out there for that particular week. But yeah, I've been pleased with it for sure.
Jason.
Matt, a day later, can you give us any clarity on Kyler Gordon's injury situation?
Yeah, so he's getting image done this morning. So we don't have that back yet. So we don't know the severity of that. So we'll figure that out as we go. But we're hopeful. We're fortunate that the bye week is here and we have some extra time. And that's no different with Brisker. Brisker's dealing with that concussion still. And we'll see where that is later today. Daly, we're getting his image done right now. So we'll see where that long snapper is as well. So, and Tyreek. And then Tyreek's also another guy that we're looking at and we're hopeful for because we have the bye week. We have some time and we hope those guys heal and get the rehab they need to get back in there as soon as possible.
And did you have any other injuries pop up during the game that didn't come up for us yesterday?
I don't know. No, sir, I did not.
Okay.
And we'll go last two, Pat and Adam.
Hey, Matt, why was Nate Davis a healthy scratch yesterday?
Yeah, because we felt that going with 8 for us provided what we needed for the game, and we were okay with doing that. And again, I gotta just give Nate, a lot of credit here. He's been a pro's pro. He's done a really good job of staying engaged, working every week. And again, we're going to need all these players, and they know that they're going to have to step in there and perform like we saw yesterday with our defensive backfield. So it's important that everybody stays engaged, stays on it in terms of the details and preparation. But yesterday we just went with 8, and we end up putting that slot somewhere else.
Is there hope that this can be motivating for him?
Like I said, he's been great. He's been engaged, and we're going to need him down the stretch. And it could be this week, next week, or after that. So he's done a really good job with that.
Matt, quickly, just two here. Quick follow-up to Jason's question about Kyler. Before his injury, what did you think of Kyler's performance? He seemed to be all over the field. It's obviously an important position for you at Nickelback.
Yeah, outstanding. He was having one of his better games, and he's had quite a few of them. And he's a special player in there. The way he moves and contorts his body in different ways, that's why I nicknamed the Spider-Man. But he is very dynamic in there as a nickel. He's one of the best nickels in football, and he's a really good pressure player, good cover player, good in short area. In terms of our zone or man concepts. So, but yeah, I thought yesterday was one of his better ones that he was putting together. And I was excited to see him finish that game, but it was unfortunate he got hurt on that particular play. But again, Josh Blackwell did a nice job coming in there and filling in for him.
And then a question about Cole. He talked about it a little bit yesterday in London, but I'm curious, like how much does the backup long snapper actually practice during the week? And then what's your interactions with that in the sideline as he's getting ready and like you're talking over different scenarios like punts and whatnot for you?
Yeah, it was obviously it's pretty dramatic when you lose your short and long snapper. It's an important part, scoring points and obviously getting the punts off. So there was definitely a lot of talk. But in terms of your first question, he practices every Thursday. After practice, he gets with those guys for the long and short snaps, and he does a good job. He's solid in there. I know he's always concerned that he has to do that. And thankfully, yesterday we didn't punt again, after the injury, so we were good. And he was good. He was good in there, and my hat's off to him. And he had a really good game yesterday, in terms of his connections, 5 for 5, 2 touchdowns, But him being able to do that as well was instrumental in the victory.